Okay, so have you brought your CV along today?
Yes, I have a copy of it right here for you.
Great, let's have a little look at it. So, got your opening statement here, and you've mentioned about some of the key skills that you've got. That's really good. And you've mentioned some employability skills there, which is really good. Good communication skills, good team worker. What we want to get across in the CV is that this is somebody's first impression of you.
Okay.
So they've never met you, they don't know anything about you. You've really got to convey the best possible profile on paper, and it's not always that easy to get it across. And what my job is to do is to try and kind of identify some of the strengths and then also advise on how we can improve it.
Okay.
So if you want to apply to the Times, which I would definitely encourage you to do, we want to make sure that this is its strongest possible position. So I will just have a work through it and see what you've wrote so far and then see where we can improve it. So I see here that you've got your experience at the London Olympics.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. You've got the role that you did in the company and the Times. Was there anything whilst you were on that experience that was a particular highlight for you or something that you achieved?
Some of the interviews.
Okay.
Jamie Oliver.
Right.
In a press conference with Michael Phelps.
Fantastic.
And Levi Roots, creator of Reggae Sauce.
Yes, I know him well, yeah, okay. Well, you haven't included that in here, so I would definitely put that down as being a highlight, because
Okay.
what that tells somebody is that you had that opportunity, you went out and you did the production work, but then you also achieved something while you were there and you were proud of it, and it was a highlight, so include that in there. Okay, and then you've got also on here the PR experience that you've got. Now the thing with PR, I think that shows a different side to you, which is around your organisation skills.
Yes.
And your team working skills as well, because PR is a very collaborative arrangement. So that's good that you showed a different side of what you're capable of. And then you've also got the student newspaper. Now here, you've just written down that you write for the student newspaper. I would give yourself a role, so say contributor or reporter, so that it makes it more of a job role. All right, does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll just slightly tweak that there. Okay, now you've listed on here all of your grades for your education. When you're putting together a professional CV, employers aren't necessarily interested in your academic profile in that much detail. So I would suggest that we kind of condense some of that down. Okay. That'll also help you get the CV onto about 1.5 pages, which is roughly about the right length.
Okay.
Okay, but very good.
Thank you.
Definitely a lot of positives in there and just a few tweaks. That's what I would really advise at this stage, Ross.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so my job is to help you to kind of create a strategy and an approach. I'd love to be able to sit here and say, here's a placement at the Times for 2 weeks, but it doesn't work like that.
That would be great.
That would be great. And it would make my job fantastic. However, what I can help with is the approach and the strategy. Now, what I would say about your profile is that you have already done quite a lot of experience, and you've also done some relevant experience. And what we've got to think about is the person at the Times picking up your CV and thinking, yeah, this is somebody that I want to see more of. Okay. And the key to that is putting together a good covering letter. So an opening paragraph and a statement of why you want the experience, when you want the experience, and why in particular you want it with the Times. Okay. So you've got to avoid the kind of I have done and focus more on these are my skills, these are how I've used the skills so far at university and through my work experience, and this is how I would apply myself if you gave me an opportunity of a work placement or work experience. Okay. So you haven't got the covering letter today. No. If you want to work on that, you can go onto my Blackboard site, which is media placements, and there's a guide on there that will just talk you through like a template and a layout, and it'll give you some hints and tips on that.
Excellent.
Have you got any questions about the covering letter?
Just how much shall I talk about the company? I guess how much do you think there should be a significant amount of research that I should go into the company first?
I think you should do some research definitely on their website, and if there are kind of key phrases on there in terms of what you'll find on the company website is that you'll get a feel for what the business is like. Okay. You'll get a feel for the characteristics that the business is looking for, some of the quality and the attributes of the people that they take on. And I think if you can incorporate a little bit of that in your covering letter, that'll really help, I think, to strengthen it.
Okay, excellent.
But what I would say is go away and have a try at it, use the media placements guide that I've mentioned, and then come back and see me in a couple of weeks and I'll have a look at it for you.
Okay, that'd be great.
All right?
Thank you.
So, plan of action is we're going to do a covering letter. I've advised you to tweak your CV.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's only a few minor things to change on there. And then we're definitely going to apply to the Times. Now then, it would be great if we got an opportunity with the Times, but I also advise that you have like a backup, a plan B. So if that doesn't come off, what other places would you consider in terms of work experience?
Perhaps some local,
Okay.
some local print publications around the area. It's quite a rugby hotbed where I'm from, so.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so another thing to do then for next time when we meet is do some research about those local newspapers.
Okay.
What sort of rugby coverage they do at the moment, who are some of the kind of key writers. And then what we can do is to put together a hit list so that we've got about 5 or 6 companies and organisations that we can approach for work placement and work experience.
Okay.
Sometimes with this it's a bit of a numbers game. The more you put out
Yeah.
there, the more chances you are going to get something back.
Yeah.
But it's also about what you can do and about what you can make in terms of a strong CV and a strong covering letter.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
So that's really it from my point of view today. Was there any other questions that you had?
No, it's been really, really helpful. Thank you very much.
All right, okay. So I'll see you in a couple of weeks then, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.